Welcome back to Aikidoflow. It's been a little while since I've been on. Today, we're going to be looking at my favorite martial artist, Bruce Lee. It's about time that we looked at him because he is the Don. He's the reason that I first started martial arts in the first place. When I was a kid, he was such an inspiration to me. He was so charismatic, so interesting, and he inspired me to start martial arts. Now, we're going to be looking at some secret techniques that Bruce Lee did, and guess what? They were Aikido techniques. We're going to go through them step by step in this video, so watch it all the way through to the end. So I hear you cry, what the hell are you talking about? Bruce Lee didn't do Aikido. He did Wing Chun. Yeah, I know. But I'm telling you now, Bruce Lee was doing Aikido techniques, and I'm gonna prove it to you. We all know that he studied with Yip Man, okay? Really famous. But what a lot of you don't know is he studied with a Taekwondo master called Jugu Ri. And that's where he got all of his kicking styles from. First technique that we're going to look at is something that we call Hiji Shimmy. Now have a look at the way that Bruce Lee does this. What he does is he throws his arm right the way out, and it comes under the person, and as it goes under, what he's actually doing is he's actually rotating the elbow. Once you keep on rotating it, you reach a point where it can't rotate anymore, and then you can lift up the person and then they will drop to the floor. Beautiful technique. And this is an elbow rotation technique. Now, if you can rotate the elbow, then you can rotate the whole body round. Okay, let's look at the second technique. Now, this technique is one of the holy grail techniques of Aikido. It is a truly advanced idea, and that is Kaku Nagi or Kaku Nagi, depending how you pronounce it. Now this technique is a system to absorb the energy from the attacker, join in with that energy, and project them somewhere else. Now, Bruce Lee does this beautifully. It's a beautiful way that he does it. What happens as the person is running down the stairs, Bruce Lee just simply joins in with his energy and projects him off somewhere else. Kaku Nagi, beautiful technique. Have a look at the way that he does this. The person comes down the stairs, Bruce Lee joins in with them. He doesn't disturb their energy. The key to this technique is allowing the energy to continue, and the person just simply rolls over him, and then Bruce Lee stands up in the stylish, charismatic way that only Bruce Lee can. Okay, another beautiful Kaku Nagi by Bruce Lee. His attacker comes in, he punches the attacker in the stomach, which destabilizes him, and then he puts his hand around the back of his head and he spins round. So together they spin round, and as they spin round, the attacker spins out. Another beautiful idea of blending with your energies. It really shows me that Bruce Lee had a really good understanding of what Aikido really was. And Aikido really is about energy and blending. And Bruce Lee did this beautifully, of course. The second Hiji that Bruce Lee did, again, a beautiful technique, but this is slightly different. This is more like a Hiji lock. So what happens is his attacker comes in, grabs hold of him. First thing Bruce Lee does is elbow his attacker, swings the arm over his head and gets into a Hiji lock. So what happens is that he locks the elbow. At the same time, in Bruce Lee style, Bruce Lee's holding onto the back of his hair, okay? But that's just Bruce Lee. So he's holding onto that and he's got him in a lock. And then of course afterwards he does his usual style of, which is great. I love Bruce Lee. Now, this is probably my favorite clip. What Bruce Lee does is that he starts off with a Nikio and he goes through and he ends up in an Ikkyo, what we call Ikkyo. Now, let's have a look closely what he does. So he begins with what looks like a Wing Chun move because his hands are out. It's that close Wing Chun style. And as he moves into the movement, he rotates the wrist around, so the wrist locks, which we call a Nikio, and it rotates round so he ends up behind the person. And then what happens is that he then rotates into what we call a Ikkyo, where the pressure is on the elbow. So it goes straight down and then he can do anything that he wants with the guy. Beautiful technique. In fact, the eloquence of what he did was he joined up a couple of different things, which is really what makes it so interesting. You can see that he's beginning to choose what he wants from different styles, and he's beginning to make his own style of it. Lovely. And finally, Bruce Lee's last technique that I'm going to show you is a technique that I actually demonstrated a long time ago on this channel called Aikidoflow, and it's a knee drop. Bruce Lee does this, of course, beautifully once again. And the way this technique works is that you grab hold of the knees and you lock the knees and you roll over, and what happens is the weight of your body rolls them over. Okay, let's have a look at how Bruce Lee does this. He's holding onto the knees and Bruce Lee is actually lifting the person up. You don't have to lift up the person, but that's just what Bruce Lee does. And obviously what happens is that it collapses away and you fall down. And at the end, of course, Bruce Lee just punches him in the nuts. Well, that's Bruce Lee. Beautiful technique. Once again, Bruce Lee does it with his own suave and style, as always. Of course, Bruce Lee has all kinds of techniques that he uses throughout his films. You can see Wing Chun, you can see all of the kicking, you can see boxing. Let's not forget that Bruce Lee actually did boxing for a little while, and you can see it in his style. Okay, so in conclusion, Bruce Lee had unbelievable charisma and style and passion for what he was doing. I think that really came across, really most of all, in all of the books that he wrote and all of the interviews and all the films, was his passion for what he was doing. Really, really important. passion will allow you to move into areas that you never thought was possible. Bruce Lee brought martial arts to the masses. We still had it in those early days. We still had all of those kung fu films and all those late night martial arts films, and they were fantastic films. But Bruce Lee brought it to the world, and that's the reason that he's so famous. He made martial arts exciting. He made martial arts interesting. He made martial arts innovative. And this idea of mixing different martial arts was a radical idea in those days. Nobody had ever even thought about that. Basically, when you really look at the detail, it's all the same thing. Yeah, sure, there are philosophies and points of view, but really all that is really about is where it is that you want to draw the line in the sand and what you're prepared to do and what you're not prepared to do. It's all the same thing. I hope you enjoyed this. This is a video that I've been longing to make for a long time. Bruce Lee is my hero. I think he's fantastic. Anyway, enjoy your training, and I'll see you on the next video.